This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
Close enough to spit on each other. We have the same shorts on.
Do we really?
Are those Hook?
Yeah, they're Hook.
These are Hook.
Hell,
Same shorts.
hell yeah. Wearing the same shorts, baby.
Yeah.
My man, Trey Lewis, the most featured guest that we have ever had on this podcast for some pretty obvious reasons. I think this is your fourth.
It's been a long time, though.
It's been a very long time.
It's been a minute. It's probably been like 2 years, 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, it's been.
The last one we do is like in your house.
Last one we did was in the old DM Monday studio.
Oh yeah. That's right.
That was the one where Mac with old Sweet Boy at the old Midtown studio, man.
And he was running. It was just me and you.
Yeah, it was just me.
I
and
barely
you.
even remember what we talked about.
I don't remember either. I don't remember how long ago that was, but I've been having a lot of like some repeat folks. Like I just had John Morgan in here the other day.
Oh, nice.
Last episode I did with him came out 4 years ago. Like
Nice.
this time 4 years
That's
ago,
wild.
which is crazy. So, how you been, dude?
I feel like people come to your podcast to listen to you talk to people, so it's cool to have this. You know, like Theo has like, what's the Asian guy's name? Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee, bro.
Yeah, he has Bobby Lee on there all the time.
How funny
And I
that-
love it every time.
Yeah,
They are great together.
They are, and how funny is it that we know a Bobby Lee that couldn't be more opposite of that Bobby
Love
Lee?
that Bobby Lee, yeah.
Which is fun. But how's life?
Don't
been?
start no shit.
Don't start no shit. Won't be no shit.
Life is good, man. It's kind of not boring, but I think like very calm, you know, and that's kind of different from what I've always known. So
Yeah. You got
know,
a
I've
good
been-
lady in your
I
life.
was-
You're
yeah.
fucking. How many pounds are we down now?
I was 288, and now I'm 226.
Jeez.
I still got a ways to go though. My cholesterol's still high, so I'm working. Yeah, I'm doing like I was doing a radio interview the other day. I guess you had set it up.
Yeah, up at Y108 in Pittsburgh.
And they were asking me about like mental health and all that stuff, and they're like, "How do you like, you know, do it on the road? What are some of the things you done?" And I was like, "Well, I went through that relationship where I was like on and off for like 3 years, and then I finally was like, this is the final one." And then I started doing like cold plunging. That's what I started last year with Nick Haynes.
Yeah, I was over there too. Nick just texted me that he just set it back up. I guess he hadn't been doing it for a little bit.
Doing cold plunges, and then that kind of like started my whole health thing. And then once I did that, I did a podcast on my podcast, which is non-existent right now. We're gonna start it back up, but I did it with J Todd, which is now my trainer, and I've worked out at least 3 to 4 times a week, at least 3, since February.
He's a beast. I haven't met that
Dude,
guy, but
he's
he just
awesome.
looks
He's
like,
awesome. The community at Athlos is just amazing, dudes. A bunch of pro athletes. I met a bunch of the hockey players on the Preds.
That's sick.
You know, like we're friends and stuff, so it's cool. So they were like, "Come to a game, we'll bring you in the locker room." So I'm gonna definitely try that this year.
Alex is gonna freak out if you bring him to that.
Oh yeah. I told him all about it. But but basically, I was doing the interview, and I was like, "They're like, what have you done?" I was like, basically, at the end of like giving my whole spiel, I was like, basically, I've just become like really lame. You know, I go to bed every night at like 9:30 at the latest. I get up at 6. I get to the gym at 6:30. I stretch. I work out. I get to Sony early. I do prayer and meditation, and then I write a song, and then by 2:00, I'm like, all right, what else can I do? You know.
That's awesome, man.
So it's pretty
I
cool.
love that you're in like such a good headspace, man. Because the last 4 years, because we met, I want to say it was like June or July of 20, and life was crazy there for a second. For both
I
of
mean,
us.
like even though I was like sober, I was still like I had like a bunch of shit that I was just carrying around. You know, like I went through my divorce, and my grandfather, or not my grandfather, my grandmother. I lost my grandmother, my dad, and a bunch of shit like all at once. So I feel like for a long time I was just like, okay, my dad's dead. Like I'm just running off ambition. Like one thing he said to me was like, never give up on music. It's like Ricky Bobby, you know,
Yeah.
like you ain't first, you last.
Yeah.
Hell, I was high when I said that, Bobby.
Yeah,
What do
dude.
you mean? I've been living my whole life doing
My
that.
whole life has been that moment.
But no, I mean, I think I was just kind of like running off ambition, and then Dig Down in Dallas hit, which was like such an awesome time in our lives. You know what I mean? Like,
Those nights at
it was
Canberra
great,
Court were
like-
fucking unmatched.
but like, I think with that success, like of having such a big hit song, like, I mean, I have great friends, and great family, but I also was struggling with some some other shit, you know, all that stuff that I was kind of carrying around. And that's when I started seeing a therapist. So I feel like in the last, what's it been, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
I've like grown tremendously as a person, and like I'm a lot more calm.
Yeah, and I think getting to go out on the road, because people don't know how much of a grind you put in. Obviously, you talk about it. You've talked about it on DM Monday. You've talked about it in interviews. You talk about it at the live show. But you, as far as playing shows, were always doing it. You were doing it during COVID, going down to the Floribama, going down to Statesboro with the boys. But getting to see the country, I think, gives you a whole different perspective too. Like the amount that we have traveled together and that you've traveled over the past year, like. You get different perspective by going to different places.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, we just went to fucking Canada. Yeah. That was crazy, dude. We pulled in there. We all had to get off the bandwagon and, like, go in. We're, like, you know, going into another country. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. You know? But definitely, like, just getting out and seeing the world and just realizing that there's rednecks everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
And
there's people that, like, love country music, and there's, like, so much more. Like, I feel like being from Alabama, like, I was like, yeah, I'm from the country, you know? But, like, even when we went to, like, upstate New York, like, Kegs and, what is that, Binghamton? Or
Binghamton,
Binghamton,
touch of Texas.
Touch of Texas, like, even up there and, like, out west and the Midwest and stuff like that, there's so much, like, country, like, landscape that's, like, you're not used to see, like, beautiful views. Like, I mean, we have beautiful views in Bama and Tennessee. But, like, just being out there, like, for, like, you're driving for, like, 8 hours, and there's just nothing but, like, flat mountains.
I know.
Like,
I was behind the wheel for a lot of that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that snowstorm. We were going to South Dakota. Yeah. And we were driving through that snowstorm. I think you might have been sleeping. It was like late night, and that blizzard just kind of came out of nowhere, and there were all the tractor trailers like flipped over on the road.
Were we in the bandwagon for that?
We were in the bandwagon, and it took us the nearest truck stop. That was where we pulled off, like in that parking lot next to like that McDonald's. And I had Terry hop up in the front with me because I'm like, he'll stay up with me. He's ready to
He'll
go.
talk your head off.
Yeah, I had Terry in the front seat, and we had packs of L&M Reds, and Terry had his Fireball. I had my coffee or my Bang or whatever I was drinking at the time, and I remember just going. It took us like an hour to get like 10 miles. Yeah, because it was like so crazy. Yeah, you know, like. And then like getting to realize that you're having an impact on people's lives in places that you never thought you would go, dude. Yeah. Like getting to go to places like Kearney, Nebraska, Mountain Home, Arkansas. Like
it's been cool, man. We've played some fun shows. We've also played shows where there was nobody there too, so that's been cool too.
Yeah, but again, you understand that from the way that you've come up. Yeah, for sure. You're gonna have to build new markets, and right now, it's a tough time. The fact that you've had as many shows this year as you've had.
It's pretty awesome.
It's a big deal. There's so many people that aren't able to tour right now just because of the way that the economy is and the world is and everything like that. Dude.
Yeah, we've definitely scaled back some. And honestly, like I'm at the point in my life where like I like it, you know? Like all I've ever done is tour and be on the road. And you know, if you told me tomorrow that I had to leave and go on tour for 5 months and not come home, you know, but maybe a few times, I'd be cool with it. I'd do it, you know, because I know how to do that. Yeah. But now that my head's not a fucking train wreck, you know what I mean? And I'm not out there critter crawling, you know?
Dude, yeah, dude.
You know, I mean, I'm so lame, dude. You know, I mean, I've been having sex with the same woman for like a year now. You know, and I love it.
An incredible woman, by the way.
Brooke is awesome. She's man, she's awesome. She really is cool.
It takes a special person to be with. It goes back to that song you and McKinney had written years ago that was on the original set list for when DDID came out. Yeah. Why you want to love you music, man. You know? Yeah, it takes a special person. Like, I'm thankful to have Aaron in my life with all these events.
Dude, and I mean, like, I brought Brooke out on the road.
Yeah, she's been in the van, been in the bandwagon, been in the bus.
When would you have ever thought that I would bring a girlfriend on the road? Yeah. I mean, that was the rule. No girlfriends on the road for the longest time. Yeah. But, man, she's just awesome. She just, she doesn't piss it. You know, she just gets along with everybody.
She's very quiet.
You know?
And
she's
then you
very
get talking to her and you're like, she's funny.
She's funny. She's funny. She'll say some shit. Because, like, she's very, very shy and kind of timid, you know. But, like, she'll say some shit that'll just like blow your mind. You're like, oh, that's why you're with Trey, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys have both been through the marriage thing before.
Yeah, we've both been married. We've both experienced life. You know, we're this, you know, around the same age. She's age appropriate, which, you know, dating girls that were 10 years younger than me was kind of, you know, was not a good thing.
It was a phase.
It was a phase.
It was a phase, and all of those experiences lead you to finding the right person.
Exactly, man. She's great, and I guess here in a few weeks, probably when this episode comes out, we'll be celebrating a year, dude.
That's fucking awesome.
Crazy.
That's awesome, dude.
And you and Aaron, how long y'all been together?
We actually met. It was funny. The night that we met was at your show at Bus Call.
Oh wow.
You and Ella played. It was the MRL takeover. Yeah, right. We won't even get into that. Yeah. But it was that night at Tin Roof, and
you know that we did a show with him on accident.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. I see the tour. I see the tour schedule. I'm still involved enough with that.
People always wonder. Am I talking into this camera or that one?
Either one.
Yeah. People always wonder, like, is Burrill still around? You know, like I'll have people come in my live. I'm like, yeah, he's still on the team. He still works here. Can't get rid of him.
Can't get rid of me. Can't get rid of me.
But man, it's been really cool to have you and Nikki T in on the team meetings and, you know, hear you guys input. So
yeah, dude. No, and cool. Nikki loves it too, and he's got so many ideas and great experience and everything. But the night so I actually started. Aaron replied to a story that I had posted, kind of slid in the DMs, if you will.
Yeah, because it was like it was a critter crawl experience there for a while.
It was. Yeah, we were actually down.
Not that you're a critter, Aaron.
No. We were at the we were over at the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
You and Frankie. Which, by the way, real quick there's gonna be a lot of sidebars in this conversation. Go all over the place. I'm
gonna hit my vape.
Yeah,
too.
go for it. Yeah. Go for it, bud. That weekend, staying with you and Wendy and Joel and Bear and hanging out, going to the hangar and the hangar.
Dude, I forgot all about that,
bro. And that was a weekend, and going to the Iron Bowl. We were hanging out with Frankie. I remember we picked up Frankie, and then I was driving us, and I don't think you were driving us, actually. You might have been driving. I think we were in your truck, actually. And then the ride down there, you and I had some great heart-to-hearts and talked about a lot of shit, and then get down there, and then we go to Tuscaloosa, and I had been to Tuscaloosa a bunch over the years with you, but to go there on a game day and it be the Iron Bowl.
Cool.
We're hanging out at that bougie tent with Frank's company.
Roll Tide Willie.
And then we get hit up by Chad saying, hey, me and Willie are on the quad. Where are y'all at? And walking around the quad, I tell people that one of the wildest moments of my life in my 29 years was walking around the quad in Tuscaloosa with you, with Trey Lewis, who Bama royalty, and DDID still had a lot of buzz. I think we had just played a show there like a month or two before. So everyone's coming up to you. And then it's the beginning of the Roll Tide Willie stuff. And we have Willie and Chad, and poor Willie, every 5 seconds.
He was drinking another beer.
Willie, get you a swaller. Willie, get you a swaller. His eyes were freaking yellow, dude.
My favorite part is after we like walked around for a minute and like, you know, he drank like 15 beers, like within, you know, we're like over at that little tent with Frank's company or whatever.
Yeah.
But then across was like some college kids. They had like their own tent and like one of those big speakers, and they were like just blaring music. And they were like, Willie, will you do a shotgun with us? And he's like, yeah. And like he doesn't understand how to shotgun a beer. So like when he goes up, when they go up, he just pours the whole thing on his shirt, you know? And it's like, what is the Iron Bowl's in November, right? Yeah, after Thanksgiving. So, I mean, it's kind of cold outside. Yeah. So he's just walking around hammered drunk, like with a shirt just covered in beer, and he's like soaking wet, you know? You know he had to be cold as hell.
Yeah, dude. And
I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably didn't feel a thing, but
no, he had the liquid blanket on for sure. He was feeling good. And then we go in and we had the club level. You balled out, which thank you.
Yeah, I spent like $4,000. That was awesome. It's probably why I'm in debt now, but you know.
Thank you.
Not really.
Thank you for giving me. That was my first SEC experience, and it's like I've talked about going to Carolina games with Aaron, and I'm just like being at Bryant Denny in the club level with Trey and Frankie, tailgating with Roll Tide Willie. I don't know how I'm ever gonna top.
Yeah, only one too. You might see a loss if you go to South Carolina.
Bama beat the hell out of Auburn that day. And then we're hanging out. I'm hitting my pen, and we're hanging out and we go to like the little buffet area and I'm like geeking out saying to you and Frank, I'm like, I think that's Shannara. I think that's Alexander Shannara. And then you just go up and be like, hey, my buddy's a little stoned, but are you Alexander Shannara? And then we get the picture with him and he tells us that back in the day he used to partake in the Devil's Lettuce, which was awesome. It was just a wild weekend. But around that time, Aaron and I were starting to message and then we were hanging out for a while and then started officially dating. Because then I got that vertigo stuff. Remember I had vertigo? That was kind of the end of me being on the road with you. Yeah, I was kind of sidelined for about a month. Nikki T was hosting my events.
Did you ever figure out what that was?
It was so I had done remember I did the birthday takeover of Whiskey Jam, where that night was fucking crazy too, where I had you, Ella, Josh, Halverson, John Morgan, Farron. That night was SJ. That night was crazy. Yeah. And I wasn't wearing earplugs, and I stood by the speaker the whole night.
Oh, no.
So it rattled the rocks or whatever, the crystals in my ears, and threw off my balance for like a month.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it threw up my balance for a while. And then Erin and I, she had her Super Bowl party, and then I went up for that and spent the night, and then took another couple months, but we have our official date is in April, so we've hit a little. We're about a year and a half. Yeah, we're about a year and a half.
First year's just your bed and breakfast.
we had a good time, and it's been interesting to navigate being with, because you've been through it too, where you're with somebody that has a child. The child isn't yours, but feels like she's yours. You know, like you're in.
It's like its
role.
own thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you know that you're never going to be that child's father. You know that you're like can never take somebody's place. Obviously, if they're not, like present, then maybe you can kind of step into that role or whatever. But like, that they're. It's not that, but it is something. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's been...
You learn a lot, don't you?
Bro, it's been incredible, and it's changed my life tremendously.
How much has your patience changed?
Oh, a ton.
Yeah.
A ton. Dude.
Like, I will say, like, from when I first met you to now, when I met you, you were, what, 24?
I was 25.
25, But just to watch you grow up, on your own, but then also having that in your life makes you grow up a lot more too.
Dude, I was not ready to be a tour manager when you guys hired me. I was not.
I don't even know if I was. Ready. I don't know if I was ready to be the Dick Down in Dallas guy.
Yeah, dude, I
knew. Back then we were like, yeah, I mean, I played in cover bands for 8 years. Like, I'm ready for this moment. But like when I look back on it, I'm like, was I really ready for that? Who knows?
Was I ready to be advancing shows and driving a van with a trailer and kind of being one of the leaders and one of the I was out there doing crazy shit too.
But dude, it's like if you look at like a lot of people that are like, I've had like viral moments and are like really crushing it right now, and you're friends with a lot of the guys that have kind of been, thrown into the fire and like been tour managers for a little while, and or whatever the case may be, it's like we figure it out, and I think that's the best way that anybody can learn anything. It's just to get in trial and error,
by fire, bro.
By fire.
Getting thrown into a weekend that was supposed to be a cover band weekend for you and the boys, like it always was, going through Statesboro and Savannah, and
you were selling merch for us at first, dude. I remember Alex being like, dude, this guy is incredible. Like, that guy can fucking sell merch. Remember the guy stepped through the thing? Bonner just, like, Bonner's, like, really quiet, and then all of a sudden he's like, God damn it!
Yeah, dude, that was fucking... That night at, that was, what was it? That was Burrill House?
Yeah,
I think it was
Burrill House in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, which was one of your regular cover gigs. And just seeing what was really cool about watching that first weekend was knowing the backstory of you and McElwain and Terry and Mitch and God bless him, fucking Josh Beam. It was like you guys had been in the trenches about a month earlier, a few weeks earlier.
I forgot all about that motherfucker.
Bro, a few weeks earlier, you guys are sleeping in the van playing tin roofs.
Yeah, I forgot
because
all about
you can't afford hotel rooms, and you're packing the place out. It was such an interesting time to be doing the music thing, but to watch you guys in front of like a packed house playing Trey Lewis songs.
Yeah,
it was cool. Just watching
we were playing like Back to Birmingham. And like all kinds of
Back to
Birmingham.
That summer song about what was it? The Back to the Woods,
Down
Back
to the Creek.
Yeah, all the old shit. Yeah. And you're throwing in Whiskey Miss Me, like all this all the
which Ben really still wants to bring that song back.
Yeah, dude, it was a high energy song, but getting to be on the sideline at the merch table. When I was lucky, I got to do it with Gary and Charlie for a while, and they were always like, because back in those days, Gary and Charlie, it was a different Muscadine. They were still out there killing it, but there were shows where there weren't a lot of people, and you could see that them and the boys, it's tough to get up for.
Now they're on tour with Post Malone,
yeah, which is fucking crazy. It's like they were having shows similar to what you were talking about earlier, where you go all the way out somewhere, you drive 10 hours, 11 hours, and you got 50 people out there, but they would look over to me just rocking out, and they'd be like, you're just hype all the time. So watching you guys, like being able to be at the merch table and watch from the merch table was such like a cool thing. Even when people were like throwing drinks at me in Statesboro and the chaos of that. I remember you guys bringing me out for your birthday, or for my birthday. Yeah, that other time when we went January, we went back to Statesboro, the back-to-back nights at the Blue Room.
Yeah, I barely remember that. Yeah. And I'm sober.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, same, dude. It was just chaos. Then we went to Stella.
Did we have an Airbnb for that one?
We always did Airbnbs. Yeah, I was in the same place, and then we went to that party after, and then that guy drove us. That frat
What was
guy,
that girl's name?
Stella.
Fucking Stella.
Yeah, she's probably graduated by now, bro. Yeah. It was a fucking while ago.
She's probably engaged.
Yeah, probably.
Got a baby.
Probably.
You know,
probably, but it was like, but I remember that guy driving us. We would do like, we were hanging out in the parking lot after, and this guy was like, man, I'm going to this party, y'all want to ride? And he was like, his job, he was like a pledge that was like driving people to and from the parties.
What are the chances Gavin Adcock was there? You know what I mean?
He very well could have been. Gavin Gavin could have been there. Landon Smith could have been there. Cole Goodwin, Will Mosley, all those kids.
Landon did some shows with us not long ago.
He speaks so highly of you guys.
And he told me that he saw me in Statesboro.
Yeah, Landon's one of my
favorites.
And
there's another kid from Georgia. I'm drawing blank on his name right now.
Statesboro kid?
No, he's from like the Rome area. He wrote one of the Austin Snell songs. What is his name?
Chase Baker?
No.
Hunter Chastain?
Hunter Chastain.
Oh yeah, Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter saw me at Sky Bar like 6 years ago. He was like, dude, I didn't even play music yet, and you were singing Drink in My Hand, and you were changing the words to Dick in My Hand. And me and my friends got mad about it.
Yeah, old Hunter Chastain, man. But yeah, it's like thinking back to those times, it's crazy, but it's cool, and it's cool getting to watch kids. Like, it's funny, I had a kid come up to me the other night, because we do our events at Riley's now. Yeah. And a kid, he didn't tell me his name. He just came up to me and was like, hey, I'm a Statesboro kid. Yeah. I love your podcast. I didn't even get the kid's name, but like, just through, because I didn't go to Statesboro with Gary and Charlie. I went to Statesboro multiple times with you, and I've taken trips down there for other shows. I brought Nicky T down there. Yeah. Nicky T's like, this place is great. Like, he loves the Blue Room. So does Ike. But it's like, I've gotten to experience, and I get associated. I'm like known as one of the champions of Statesboro, and I've only been there with you.
Yeah, it's fun to go there. It's really cool, but it's like now I'm kind of like old. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, going to the college towns now at our age.
Yeah, imagine trying to be single and do what we were doing, 6, 7 years ago.
Dude, yeah.
At that point, you're just a creeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't be 40 trying to hook up with 21-year-olds.
No,
you know what I mean?
No. It's a different.
When you're 30, it's questionable, but after that, it's like, come on, man. It's time to grow up.
It's a different place and time. Some more wild moments I got to have with you were, of course, on the Bob tour. The
Bob tour, was pretty cool. I like the show that we did. Was it in Fort Lauderdale, or it was somewhere down there where we did the show afterwards at Renegades and Big Tom came?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was fun.
Power went out.
The power went out. Yeah,
and then that's the thing too. But I always tell people, like, they were like, what were some of your favorite things, like watching Trey's shows and like being out on the road? And I was like, if something would go wrong, Trey would know exactly what to do on stage. Yeah. And you would jump right into just you.
Live like you were dying.
Live like you were dying.
When it rains, it pours.
When it rains, it pours. And Lee Greenwood, proud to be an American.
Everything in the key of G.
Yeah, everything in the key of G. And you're just up there, and there's no electricity on stage, so you're just yelling a cappella and playing acoustic guitar, and the crowd's just screaming it back, and Terrier dancing.
We had a show recently in at the Texas Club in
Baton Rouge.
Yeah, And this was the time before last. Well, dude, we lost power right before Dick Down in Dallas.
Oh,
on
no.
the Dick Down, that part. The power just completely went out. So I got down in the crowd and just started the song acoustic, and me and the whole crowd sang the whole song a cappella. And then it started back up towards the end, and then we played it again. It was awesome. Yeah.
That is awesome, dude. Yeah, lots of fun moments. And again, it's like now doing this Raise Rowdy stuff. I was talking with Nick about it the other night, actually, and it's like I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now successfully if I hadn't been in the trenches with you.
Yeah.
Like learning, I advance when we go to festivals. I advance all the festival stuff.
Yeah.
I know how to set up what we need for power when we're doing shows, when we're like helping put on the shows.
It's pretty cool, man. It's like I think that everything builds off the next. You know what I mean? But like, you know, it's like you used to do the radio thing, you know, and then when you got here to town, the first thing you did was what? Like pretty much start a podcast, right?
Yeah, I started a podcast. I bounced for a while, had my fun on Broadway, and then about 6 months into it, it was right before Christmas break of 20. I talk about like we're in college, like Christmas break. Christmas of 2019, me and Boudreaux, Tyler, we talked about doing a podcast, and we got it up and running February or March of 2019. Was when we. And
then that's how like. Did your rounds first start? Started?
The rounds started September of 19. So we had the podcast for about 6 months. Yeah. And then my buddy Ethan Willis, who is now, I believe, a police officer. I think he's not doing music anymore. Yeah. But wow. Ethan had Hasten from Live Oak had gone to Ethan and was like, hey, would you be interested in doing a round? And Ethan's like, well, I'm not super interested and I'd love to help with it, but I think my buddy Matt can do it with his podcast, and it gives it a name. And those bootleg flyers back in the day, we were like, my buddy Dakota.
Now it's like the hottest round in town.
We're proud of where the stuff's gotten to. Between,
I mean, you're not Whiskey Jam, but like y'all have got like what 5 events in town a week or something crazy.
We do 10 to 12 a month, so we do.
Yeah, but it's like its own thing, and it's really cool. Because, like, I feel like what me and our crew had, like, Ella, Maxwell, Joy Beth, McKinney, I'm leaving people out, like Cody Parks,
Brian Frazier,
all them, like, what we had amongst our friend group is really cool, and we still have it. Everybody's just, like, super busy, and we don't, like, hang out in each other's backyards. It's not COVID anymore. You know, everybody got pub deals after Dick Down in Dallas, record deals, and Ella's crushing it, you know what I mean? She's got like
superstar.
She almost, you know, her songs almost like #1, you know, that she wrote and with Riley, and it's like all these cool things. But the coolest thing about like Raised Rowdy and what you guys do is like y'all are always out there in the trenches. Y'all know all the new talent and all the people that like are coming up, kind of like, you know, I feel like the same way that we did. And like what happens in this town is you move here and iron sharpens iron. You either get better or you move the fuck home. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, but you guys get to see that and like, I think it's cool. Like I can just hit you or Nikki T up and be like, hey man, we need a guy for like this show, or like I'm looking for like somebody. I'm looking for some new music just to listen to on the road that nobody really knows about, because everybody loves finding out about an artist before anybody finds out about.
That's what our specialty is,
and that's what y'all do, man. Yeah. And that's really cool. Yeah, but I think that's really awesome, man. And I think that everything, you know, like I said, builds off the next. And like, you know, you being out on the road with us was like fun and it was awesome. But maybe that wasn't what you were like supposed to do forever.
I wasn't built to be a tour manager.
But you did it. You know what I mean? You did a great job. You know, and we're friends, and you still work on the team, and like you're a creative person, and it's been really cool to like just be friends, man, and like just like watch each other grow and our life change, and still remain, you know, friends and everything.
And at the end, you had started having me like introduce you in the band coming out.
Yeah.
And
that was awesome.
That got me prepared for this summer I got to do major festivals.
Yeah.
I was the guy. I got to introduce Eric Church. I got to introduce Bailey Zimmerman. I got to introduce fucking Shinedown. Like I got to do all the tailgate and tall with Jelly Roll. Like
my favorite is ain't no sitting down at a Trey Lewis show.
Yeah, that's what you got to do,
your
man.
Ass up here.
You got to hype them up, man. You got to tell them front row don't go. Like get up and get going. But you and Alex were. I'm very grateful, and Ben too. Like McElwain, you guys all kind of let me be a personality, and I got to be one of those personality merch guys too, which there's quite a few of them now, you know. Like I look at guys like Brennan Cato. Brennan's like my little brother, and somebody that comes underneath your tree as well, where he was cutting his teeth, and he's been out now since with like
he's with Josh Ross.
He's with Josh Ross now, and then the guy that was with Josh before Brennan was Wyatt Carmichael, who I first met while I was selling merch at a Muscadine show in Indianapolis, and then he was with Lakeview, and then he was with Josh, and now he's back with Lakeview, and it's like but those guys are personalities too.
Yeah.
Like the fans of Josh Ross know who Brennan Cato is, you know?
Yeah.
The fans of Muscadine Bloodline knew who I was and now know who Brad Curry is, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's having personalities as a part of the crew and part of the show, and you guys being gracious enough to let us be us.
Whatever, man. Whatever helps, you know? Whatever helps us grow the brand and sell tickets, you know? Like and helps you grow as a person, you know? I never wanted to just like be the lamest thing out there. You know what I mean?
Dude, the show was a spectacle, man. And it was like the moments that were crazy for me.
I noticed that you've been going to some Gavin Adcock shows. Like,
bro,
dude, I gotta get to one.
He's like our little brother now. Yeah. It's funny. You talk about like the kids and it's like, we're not like us and Whiskey Jam are like different things, you know? It's like, but for kids that are moving to town right now, Ward's been downtown now for over a year. Mm-hmm. So it's like we've been the guys in Midtown.
We're taking over.
So it's kidding.
I'm kidding, Ward. We love you.
No, and again, they're different. They're different things. And like the Red Bull thing Ward did the other night was fucking awesome. Yeah. And like the different festivals that he's at and what him and Ryan have done with that.
I did a Whiskey Jam. We went up to
PBR Louisville.
PBR Louisville. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's great what he's doing and all of that. It's like for us to be in kind of the same breath as that is sick. But these kids that are moving to town, we are their thing in Midtown. If they don't want to go downtown, they come to us. And like the people that are just hanging out at our event, like we got fucking daily at our events all the time. We call him Uncle John.
I saw him at I played like a fundraiser thing the other night upstairs at the new Live Oak.
Yeah.
And Lil Skinny was having his round down there, and John Daly was in there.
Yeah, Daly's wild, man. But it's like Daly. We had Tommy from Jackass in there the other day. He's lost a bunch of weight. He looks great, by the way. Tommy, the street biker. Yeah. It was like part of like that Steve-O, Bam Margera, Johnny Knoxville crew. Gavin just whenever he's in town just comes and hangs out at our.
Does he not? He doesn't live in Nashville.
He lives in Murfreesboro.
Oh, okay.
So him and his girlfriend are in. I believe she's up there. I forget if she is or not, but he's in Murfreesboro. But it's like we have all these kids, and it's Gavin. I think being out on the tour with you gave me a lot of street cred with the Rowdier kids.
Oh yeah,
it gave me a lot of street cred. Like Gavin saw that I was out with you and was like, "Hell yeah!"
We punched him in the face, dude. I live for his content.
And that was in Oxford. That was in Oxford, Mississippi, a place that you're very familiar with.
Yeah, that I don't like.
Yeah, that's not my favorite. Like I always say that I'm more of a Starkville than an Oxford guy.
Starkville's more.
And I know it bothers Bama fans, but I always say I'm more of an Auburn guy than a Tuscaloosa guy for two words.
Sure.
Sky Bar. You know,
Sky
Bar. And we're going down to the Auburn Rodeo in a few weeks.
And you're going to Sky Bar.
Yeah, we get there the night before, and we bring the girls, and we're actually bringing Dusty with us.
Hell yeah!
Dusty selling merch at the Auburn Rodeo is going to be elite.
Yeah.
So
how does Nikki? What does Nikki T think about Sky Bar?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. He doesn't drink like he used to.
Yeah.
I believe the first time I got him down there, he still did. So he got a little crazy there. But he's slowed down with the drinking and stuff too. Yeah. And obviously he's got a few years on me, but he still loves just being in it, you know? And for him, it's just what makes the bars in the South so special, particularly in the college towns, is the live music element. Yeah. Like where Nick and I are from, it's maybe more so me than Nick. It's like it's DJs in the bars. Mm-hmm. There's not cover bands playing. Yeah. We don't really have the cover band scene. You go in the Sky Bar and you got like last time we were down there, we had Christian Yancey and Cody Loden. They were playing in the front room. Yeah. And then one of the bands, it wasn't who are those guys from Alabama that are Pygmies, the Velcro Pygmies. It wasn't them, but it was like that kind of band.
That kind of band
with like a cover band with like crazy production. Like Nikki T's like, bro, this is crazy. I'm like, dude, this is just how the bars are. Like you go to Birmingham, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
you got people playing at the Nick, you know, like it's just, they're at Moe's, they're at Innisfree, like it's the same kind of thing. But yeah, Gavin is, to me, it's like it's a generational kind of thing. Yeah, he's Hank for these kids,
dude. I that's what I thought. And I was that's kind of was my thought.
Yeah, and I was hanging out with
putting cigs out on his arm.
Bro, it's like, and then you hang out with him.
The Jack Daniels bottle.
Yeah, you hang out with him and you realize that he's not this crazy, similar to you, or like
dude. What made me the biggest Gavin Adcock fan is I ran into him up at Sony. He writes at Sony. And I was just walking by, I saw him. I was like, dude, big fan of your stuff. Like, you know, you're crushing it. I was like, Matt Burrill's my buddy. You know, he used to work with me or whatever. He was like, man, I appreciate that. He was like, your song Pretty Hungover is like one of my favorites. I sent that to my girl as soon as it came out. And I was like, damn, I thought nobody had heard anything other than Dick Down in Dallas. So thanks, man. I was like, that guy's forever cool in my book. So.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, real recognizes real, and it's just Gavin he's just this thing. And I was watching we had that moment at the Blue Otter Golf Tournament this past week.
Oh yeah.
And it was funny because it was playing. Aniston Pate has a song called Bigger in Texas, or Everything's Not Bigger in Texas, about like talking shit about a guy, like that buckle covers up a lot kind of thing. And she was like, should I play this? I'm like, well, a few years ago, Trey played DDID at this thing on stage with Ella. I'm like, I'm sure you're fine playing that. But then Gavin hopped up because John Daly was heckling. Gavin was trying to leave, and Daly was like, you're playing, boy, you're playing. And he made Gavin play with his Trump guitar, and then he FaceTimes Trump.
I saw that.
I was standing back in the back with Bradley Jordan with Uncle Ronnie having a cigar, and freaking him and I look at each other because we saw John's phone from a distance. I'm like, I think that was Trump. And Bradley's like, are you fucking serious? And I'm like, I think so. He's like, that's fucking, it was just a crazy moment. But just the Gavin is at that kind of level. He hasn't played a show that hasn't sold out.
That's
unless
crazy.
He's open for somebody.
That's
like
crazy.
Every headlining show is sold out.
With that being said, who are some of the artists right now that you're pretty pumped on?
Dude, I mean, there's some like folks that are like in the underground that like the industry knows about, but they're not getting like, Aniston's definitely one of those. There's some girls in town that are fucking sick.
Dude,
Aniston
I'm going to tell you right now, like, I think that this is somebody that's been around for like a while, or like to us, but Callie Prince, dude.
Oh, dude, Callie's sick.
I think she's going to, within the next year or so, like some shit's going to happen for her.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Her songwriting is incredible. She's starting to figure out who she is. Again, all these kids.
She's like one of the first people I met when I moved to Nashville.
All these kids are so young. They're so young. They're all like 25 and under. Yeah. Like Shelby Ray is another one.
Shelby Ray's awesome. She's
she
amazing.
Can sing with anybody, bro. She's insane. I love watching what Shelby does. I mean, there's young girls on the writing side too, like Avery Bielski.
Yeah, I've got to write with her next week.
She's incredible, bro. She actually, it was funny the other
like she gives you like a JBT vibe.
Yep. Oh yes, yeah, very much so. And she just turned 21. It's funny having these kids that just turned 21, like within the last month, that have been playing our events for years. Like Landon Smith, Carson Wallace, Avery, Aniston. Like, it's crazy, like, watching them. Another kid, like, talking about, like, obviously there's a lot of kids coming out of Georgia. There's a kid, Duke Jones, that is absurd. He's playing at Eddie's Attic coming up. And really like cool vibe. It like dips into like that Zach Bryan-y kind of. It's funny because he's from Georgia, but he's a diehard Tennessee fan.
Oh wow!
So everybody always gives him. He's always wearing a Vols hat on stage. I'm like, you should wear that in Athens, and that'll be a moment. But yeah, he's awesome. The kid's coming out of Texas right now.
Yeah,
there's a
lot. There's a like a I guess like a demand for that kind of like thing.
Bro, the post Co thing is like, and Co is still obviously Co, and we love what him and Trey and that whole crew do. But it's like watching these kids come up again, all younger than the age of 25. And it's funny because some of them, they come all the way out. They play our Wednesday event. They come all the way up from Texas, and we'll help them book like rights and stuff like during the week with different people, and then they'll play, but they can't get into the bar until 15 minutes before they go on.
Yeah,
so it's like
that's
they come
crazy,
because they're
dude.
young, and then they go in and they fucking rip like Mac Hankins and the Moonlighters, Sterling Elza, Cole Barnhill, Braden Stewart, Aaron McBee, and these kids are coming up playing at Tumbleweed, playing at Texas River Club, playing Mavericks, playing all these clubs that
we've been to a bunch.
Yeah, and they're like the local openers, and they're just rising.
Well, that's like Wyatt Flores. He
that's-
opened for us once.
That's one of my proudest moments. Is I tell people that I've had Wyatt's phone number since 20.
Dude, I don't even remember. I don't even think I met him.
And that was Carrie. Carrie came up to me because I had. There's promoters, and shout out to like Carrie, shout out to Tracy down at Mavericks, shout out Wild Greg, like shout out to shout out to Alan, shout out out in Carolinas, Jackie, like getting to meet all these different promoters. And I'd had a relationship with Carrie, like a friendship with him and with Miss K and John and the crew at Tumbleweed for years from being with Gary and Charlie. And I remember him coming up to me at the merch table and being like, this kid that's opening, he's the next one up in Oklahoma. And I'm like, okay, cool. And watching him, and he had just played covers at that point during that thing. It was him and a buddy, acoustic.
It was like his first show, wasn't it?
One of his first opening shows ever. Yep. Oh boy, sweet boy. He had fun the other night. We saw him he was out the other night, and he had a great time watching. One of the highlights of the other night was him and Gavin Adcock having a conversation. Both nice and buzzed, and just me counting how many words they would get in a minute. A lot of like, hi, McElwain, nice to see you. Oh man, I love what you've been doing. We've been on the road, dude. Like just back and forth kind of stuff. I love old sweet boy, the hardest working man in show business, as I like to say.
Hardest drinking man in show business.
I heard he's cut back on the road, which is good.
Well, I mean, he has to. I mean, he's front of house now. He's tour manager.
He's like day to day, right?
Yeah, he does everything. He's the most loyal guy, one of the most loyal guys. I mean, think about it now. Ben Miller's been with us for 5 years. You know? But we got a good crew right now.
You do. I love
It's small. It's good. It's efficient. Everybody gets along.
I love the content that your drummer posts.
Oh
Ethan.
He's good. He goes viral more than I do.
I love that you have him on the drums. I don't think I've met the. Are you guys rocking a 4-piece right now?
Mm-hmm.
So who's on bass?
His name's Bo Burks. He's from Louisiana.
Nice guy.
Yeah. He just drives up and goes on the road with us, man. He's great.
Hell yeah.
He's really good.
That's awesome.
He sings the low harmony. He's really good.
So you're rolling with a crew of what?
That's
6.
And then we'll bring a guy out for merch or whatever to help with dropping.
Yeah, if you ever need that, I get
Gorman quit. He's a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. We wish Gorman the best, man.
No, everybody. I think folks from being on the road that I learned was that you really learn how to deal with anything and everything. You learn how to deal with a sold out show. You learn how to deal with opening for a big person. You learn how to deal with the van breaking down. You learn how to deal with driving a bandwagon, being in a bus. Like I've literally went through it all with you, and Nick did as well.
Yeah.
You know, so now he's prepared to do whatever.
For sure. Now he's with Dylan Snyder.
Yeah. And Brennan,
we're happy for him.
Yeah, and Brennan, same thing with Brennan Cato.
Yeah.
You know, Brennan Cato learned a bunch. All the guys that were on lighting, like I saw Mr. Vonti over the summer.
Yeah, he's with
Jesse Murph.
Jesse Murph now.
Bro,
that's crazy.
I was backstage because
he's talented. He deserves it.
Yeah, I was backstage doing getting ready to go introduce one of the openers for that day, and I turn around and I see this large human, and I'm like, it's like 80. It's like close to 90 degrees, and there's this large human in a black hoodie, and then he turns around. I'm like, holy shit, it's fucking Devontae. I was like, Mr. Vonti. And he dropped the case on the ground. I was like, oh shit. Because you know how he is. He just picks up cases. They might have wheels on him, but he's fucking carrying them. Like he's one of the fucking hardest working dudes. And it was really good to catch up with him and watching him do production with her, with the monster act that she is. Like he has access full video wall.
Dude, I didn't know she's from Alabama.
Yeah, she's from Huntsville.
I watched the podcast
with Theo.
Yeah,
she's
dude. I watch his show religiously.
Yeah, dude.
He is hilarious.
You've gotten to hang out with him too, and
resonate
a lot with him.
I actually ran into him recently at the Barstool thing we did.
Yeah,
and he was telling me about his cyber truck, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
But dude, like he's Like that guy right there is fucking hilarious. He brings a lot of joy to my life. Just when I'm on the road, like
while being sober.
Yeah. I bring that in and I just pop that in and listen to it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and that's something I want to talk about with you too, because obviously your date's back in June.
Yeah.
My date is in May. So we've hit our years. And
dude, what are you at
Lord
now?
willing,
6 years?
I just hit 8.
8 years.
I just hit 8, so I'll be 9 years clean in May 30th of 25. But it's people always ask me, they're like, how do you do what you do, and how are you be able to be around all the chaos while not drinking? Like, it blows people's minds that we're able to do what we do.
It just becomes part of your identity.
Yeah.
And like, this shit's chaotic, dude. Could you imagine throwing alcohol in there in the mix? Like, I don't know how people do it, but I do know that alcohol affects me differently than it affects other people.
Yeah.
So I know I wouldn't even probably show up for this podcast if I was fucked up. If I got drunk last night, I'd have been like, oh man, I went to Red Door last night, got a little hammered, did some cocaine, can't make it to the podcast today. So there's no way I could get anything accomplished or accomplish my goals, and I would hate myself, and it would just be a terrible thing.
I explain it as an allergy.
Yeah.
Because I had I was actually talking with Wayno, the Tailgate and Tall Boys guys.
Yeah. He sent me a text the other day.
All the promoters are in town this weekend, by the way,
wow.
for that AIBA festival.
Yeah.
So they're all here, which means we're going to see all kinds of people throughout the weekend. It'll be very chaotic. But Wayne was kind of saying to me, like he was trying to get me to do a shot with him, and he had been drinking a little bit. I think he had forgotten. I was just explaining to him, and I explained it like I had an allergy, and that made him kind of get it. You know, like I tell people, like it just affects me.
It's like break out in handcuffs.
Yes, that's what I'll say on stage sometimes. Aaron and Nikki T don't like that as much, but because it's just like I never hit that point where I literally was in handcuffs.
Yeah,
I got an underage drinking ticket, but like I never at a Toby.
But
Keith
I mean,
concert.
it's true though. You know?
I turn into a person that I don't want to be.
It's only not funny joke if you tell it in AA because everybody's heard it a million times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I think.
yeah, dude. And it's like, and I was talking with who did I have on? I had Luke Borchelt, another kid that's coming up right now.
Yeah.
He's not really a kid. He's older than me. He's like early 30s.
Okay.
He's from Maryland. He's been on tour with Shabuzi all year. And
dude, that Shabuzi album is fucking good.
Oh, dude, it's so great.
It's great.
It's so great.
It's
I didn't know if I would like it because I don't lean very much into the pop world. But his stuff, the lyrics fucking hit. The melodies.
Dude, I've been
are
listening to his music before that. The pour me out another shot of
bar
whiskey.
song, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Let It Burn. That was like one of my favorite tunes.
Yeah.
So I was going through my breakup. Like I listened to his music a lot, and then that song, whatever, exploded. It changed his life. I'm sure he's grateful for it. But like other than that song, he's got some really, 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 really good tunes, and the album is amazing.
Yeah, dude. No, it really is. But Luke had talked about he had to get sober young as well, and kind of like the vulnerability of getting there and finding yourself through the steps and through all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's able to like control it now to where he's still whatever, but like he's not. He had to go through it though. He had to hit that bottom point, and it's like I'm so grateful that I don't drink. I don't really smoke that much pot anymore, honestly.
That's awesome.
I will like when in Rome, and by when in Rome I mean like Colorado. If we're in Michigan, I'll hit my little Benjamin, but I don't do that. I haven't had a cigarette. I had some at the Floribama because you have to have cigarettes at the Floribama.
Dude, I'm so addicted to these things.
You have been since I first met you.
Dude, I tried to quit for like an hour the other day.
Which one's that?
This is the Geek Bar.
Is the Geek Bar?
And it's so lame. It's like I've got this bright green thing, and I'm gonna.
I remember when you used to have the pink one. I remember when you used to have the rainbow
so stupid,
one.
But I just I'm highly addicted to it. It's so hard to quit.
Some of my favorite van moments or touring moments with you were when we had Ella out with us.
Yeah.
And you and Ella would we'd find you guys would say, Burrill, pull over, we need a vape. And then I'd dig in the thing and I'd find a vape in that little thing, and it would be out, and they'd be like, God damn it. And you'd like chuck the fucking vape across the van or across
Ella
the
doesn't
bandwagon.
vape anymore, but every time I'm around, she's like, oh, please let me hit that vape.
Yeah, dude. It's like I remember the vape was like always like a big thing. I'm on these like Zemo things now.
Oh, is that like
they mail them?
Those are addicting too. They hurt my throat though.
Bro, 8 milligrams.
Oh wow.
They're
Yeah.
heavier.
There's another one that
Rogue is a
they
big
do
one.
at the
Zen.
gym. They get on the internet. That's called Lucy.
Lucy.
Have you heard of those?
No.
I think that's what
These
it's
emo
called.
guys just mailed me a bunch of stuff, so I'm just like, I'll do it. I haven't paid for a Zyn pouch in a long Zyn or Zemo, like a nicotine pouch, in a long time.
Let's try one. Have you had one in right now?
Oh yeah, I've had one in this whole time. They're 8s, so they're heavy. I had somebody try it the other night. I think I had Dusty try it at the merch table the other night, and she was like, "Man, that burns," and she took it right out. I'm like, "Dusty can't
Dude,
hang."
have you seen? Do you put them up here?
I usually go down here because that's what I always did when I was
Yeah.
dipping. I have to. I'll do it
I was
up here
playing
every now and again.
DG with McElwain the other day and put in a like a skull pouch. It was so good, dude.
Yeah.
I was like,
McElwain's
"Ooh,
been on-
I was like, oh, I can't get into
Matt's
that.
been on the Skull Mint forever.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Copenhagen mint now.
Copenhagen
pouches.
mint. Okay, he's on the
You know that
Copenhagen
he's never dipped like real tobacco. He's only done
Why?
pouches.
I feel like you got to start
Like
with
he
the
started
long
on pouches.
Like you started. I remember you getting me on the what was it? Longhorn? No. What was the brand that used to have the peach?
Timberwolf.
Timberwolf peach. I remember dipping that. I remember it being so late night and me being tired driving that fucking van and me just reaching down being like, what do I have in here to keep me awake? I'm like, oh, fuck, Skull Peach. All right, guess I'm putting one in.
Dude, it's great. I used to dip Copenhagen long cut and then moved to peach.
Hope LC.
Yeah.
I put some hair on your nuts.
Yeah, I just don't know how these kids do the wintergreen though. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they sent me a couple of the wintergreen ones. I like the blueberry and I like the cinnamon.
These are pretty good.
They're very good.
Yeah.
They're from Myrtle too, so you know they're kind of greasy and dirty, which I like. I like that they're from Myrtle.
What else are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about Garth Brooks today. Who you voting for?
Jesus Christ! How damn! Now it's turning into DM Monday over here. No, it blows my mind, that stuff, because it's like I've had the opportunity to interview Garth twice. I remember Alex pulling.
I just
up the
can't
videos
see
of
him
that
doing
thing.
something like that. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I just, you know,
Yeah, I don't see it
see
either.
it.
He was very.
it looks like a money grab to me. But I'm not like discrediting that things happen to people at all, because I know it does. But I just don't see it. Not at this age.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really saw it with P. Diddy either, though, which is the problem. You don't know.
Everybody, but dude, like
when
we
you
got
watch
hints.
then you watch the interviews.
We
of,
got
like, Diddy
hints
back in the day
about P. Diddy for a long time.
Him on late
dude.
night TV talking about baby oil being essential.
Yeah, dude. People were like low key calling him out for like a long time.
Eminem was throwing him,
and that doesn't.
verses.
Yeah, that doesn't blow my mind at all. You know.
No, it's crazy. And then that's it being another election year. It does. It's crazy. It's been 4 years.
So we are
since
talking
2020.
about all this. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's wild, and it's like getting to see, like, people dip into the politics stuff quite a bit,
Dude. It's
like,
pretty crazy. I mean, I'm more into it this year or this election around than I have ever been.
Is it just because you have more you have more time and you're paying attention more because you're not caught up with all the other bullshit?
When they whoever tried to assassinate Trump, whenever that happened, I was at home and I remember just like watching that all unfold on live TV, and I remember texting somebody in my family that's like super left, and being like, "Hey, they just tried to assassinate Trump." And they were like, "Oh, I think it was a firework," and it was like,
oof,
And then I was like, "No, this is on the news." And they were like, "Yeah, there's a lot of AI stuff out there."
Oh,
and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, "No, like I'm watching CNN right now, because like I like to go Fox News and then I like to watch CNN just so I can like." Because like Fox is super extreme on the right side, and then CNN super on the left. So like you have to watch both of them to
That's what I do too.
Make like a like a real like
a real judgment
of what's going on. And then after that it was like crickets, no response. But like, dude, ever since that happened, like I've been really, and then the debate was just like insane.
The first one with Joe.
The first
was crazy.
one with Joe was like crazy.
Yeah,
like the next one seemed like a tag team job.
Yeah.
Like there was just no. But like Trump took the bait. You know what I mean? It was like. So I don't know, man. Who knows what's gonna happen? You know? I mean, I would like to see the economy get a little bit better, and us just be America again. But there's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world, man. It's really crazy.
It is.
And the thing that I hate the most about all of it is the division. And I know a lot of people say that, but it's just like, you know, I'm grateful for AA because I got sober at a young age, and in AA I learned that this person, you could believe this and I could believe that, and we could disagree, but we could still be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
AA is great for that.
It's like, you know, it's like I have friends that are super left, super right, whatever, but like we're still cool. You know what I mean?
I've had people tell me that AA is what they wish church would be like.
Yeah.
Like the the friendships and the community of those small meeting rooms is what, like that fellowship.
Yeah.
It brings everybody together.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's pretty crazy, man. I just wish that we could all get along, you know?
Yeah, dude. It's crazy, too. You were saying you were at home. So when the Trump assassination attempt happened, we were up in Ohio at country concert.
Oh, wow.
And I was at a festival, and you would just see people looking at their phones like, oh, shit. And that was the night that, I think that Hardy or Laney had played headlining. I think one of them made a comment about it on stage at this big festival.
Well, we were supposed to go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
We were supposed to play in Springfield last Saturday, but it got canceled.
Yo, that storm, dude.
Springfield, Ohio.
Crazy, those storms, bro.
Yeah.
And people are still fucked from that. People are going to be fucked from that for a long time.
For sure.
In towns that we've been in and toured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought about doing a joke like when I walked out on stage and being like, I heard y'all are eating dogs and cats up here. My tour manager's single. He's just trying to get his ass ate. What's up? But the show got canceled.
Yeah.
So probably good, you know, probably because it just got canceled right then and there.
I don't think you would have gotten canceled.
I think people would have laughed.
Yeah, I think so. Especially at that event. I remember you talking about Terry on stage. Some of your intros for the guys were just next level. McElwain.
I made fun of Ben's haircut the other day.
What does his haircut look like now?
Dude, Ben has the best haircut he's ever had.
Really?
Yeah,
because he's gone through like 3 or 4 styles since.
I was like, he's known for his bad haircut. Ben Miller.
I want to see. I wonder if he has any pictures of it.
He looks great now, man.
Yeah, because I remember him. He had the mohawk for a little bit, right?
Yeah, whatever that thing was.
Whatever that thing was. I want to see what he fucking looks like. No, I haven't seen Ben in a long time, and he's like doing the Castle music stuff, right?
Catalyst. Yeah, dude, he's crushing it. They're like, he's a publisher now. They're like signing artists, songwriters, and he's producing people and doing sessions.
Is this what it looks like right now?
Yeah.
That? Oh,
yeah, it looks great.
I mean, the lock screen that. Yeah, it does. He does look good.
He
just signed our buddy Caleb Shirley, another kid from down that way.
Yeah, so they're doing some cool stuff. I think we're gonna try and get him on some shows if we can when it makes sense.
That'd be cool. Makes sense in the Southeast. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Mississippi boy, Alabama kid that goes to state.
Yeah,
like that's on Trey Lewis brand as fuck.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's been cool to watch. You know, it's been cool to watch him grow because I've known him forever. You know, I met him when he was playing for Riley, and he's played for everybody under the sun. And just to watch him grow from just being pretty much a road guy to being a studio, you know, being a producer, a mixer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, because he really got into that like during COVID, like right when you had brought him on.
Yeah.
When he was starting to really get into it.
Well, I think he had produced some records for himself and stuff, but now he's like, I've had him do work for me and stuff. Yeah. So it's been cool.
No, he does a very good job. And it's funny too, like I said, like just the small world. Nick and I have grown a friendship with Riley Green now, hosting at the Duck Blind, you know, and it's like him and that whole crew, and even like the guys from like Bulls, Bands, and Barrels, like Bobby Lee and Todd and Hunter, and then Bradley and the Peachtree and Premier folks, and like I got to meet all those folks through being out with you. You know, was how I got the relationship and the street cred with.
And
those
Bradley
guys.
loves you and Nikki and raised Rowdy, and
dude, he's been a huge champion, man. But it's like they all got to know me from me tour managing and selling merch
and the podcast.
Yeah,
Bradley loved the podcast.
Bradley listens to this, so shout out.
He used to listen to Dia Monday.
Yeah, he listens
so I guess
to all
now he's moved to yours.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Listens. Yeah, he's been listening. He listens to mine. He listens to Nick and Kurt, and he listens to yours. Like he'll mention, because for a while I had messed up, so when I was out with Muscadine, he taught me that when you sell out a show with him, you can call him, anybody in the crew can call him Uncle Ronnie.
Yeah.
I thought he said Uncle Rico. So I had been referring to him as Uncle Rico, like Napoleon Dynamite, for years. And then we had cigars with him the other night at Losers, and he corrected me and was like, "You're always saying Uncle Rico. It's Uncle Ronnie." I'm like, okay, Uncle Ronnie from here on out.
I think it's Uncle Rico from now on. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny, dude.
He's a great guy, man.
Yeah, because those COVID shows were, because he was there. I'm trying to think of like the wildest nights that we had out there, and we're gonna get talking about "Scared to Death of Dallas" and all the music that you've got. We're gonna get into that. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. I know we're deep.
We got
into
plenty
this
of time.
Yeah,
we'll go 3 hours. This is Joe Rogan podcast.
I know. We can go a long time.
Do some mushrooms.
Oh, geez, no, neither of us
should have done a cold plunge before.
Oh, dude, I thought about.
I've got my own rig at my house now.
You do?
Yeah.
I'll have to come over and check it out. It's one of the little pop-up ones, right?
It's a pop-up one, but I have a chiller.
Oh.
So it's sitting on 38 degrees right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I got it all like the chillers from China. It was like $1,200, and then I probably spent $2,000 all in on it. But it's mix and match, but it's awesome.
You're getting your money's worth on it. But yeah, I'm thinking back to some of those dates. Like the one weekend that always stands out to me when when was it the craziest? Was the weekend of Milledgeville into Anderson.
Oh yeah, and
Ned
Ella
Kelly's,
was opening.
Yeah. Ned Kelly's. And when we had the guys in the green room taking the beer, all the chaos, the brawl in the back of the
trailer tire got stabbed out, and then that girl, Jess, whoever, she was a bartender at Ned Kelly's, changed the tire, and we had like a 20-inch rim tire.
Yeah, and then me and Alex had to get up in the morning and do that, but later that night, all the stuff at Al's house.
Al Chapman and the guy that owns Southern Social.
Yeah, the big dude. Yeah. And Terry.
And
thank God I ran out there and grabbed him.
Yeah, punched Al in the face. It was crazy.
And thank God I went out and grabbed that guy. I grabbed Terry.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Terry
like picked up a rock. I was gonna like knock him out.
He was like a brick. Yeah, it was, and everybody was just like, "How can this not get crazy?" And then we go to Wendell's, and then that craziness.
Yeah, so we go to Wendell's, and it's sold out, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I'd never seen so many people in there. It was ridiculous. I mean, it was hot and sweaty in there, but it was freezing cold outside. It was
like January or February because it was Devontae's birthday.
Yeah, Ella gets up there. She's crushing it. She's playing her set. Just acoustic solo. And then we're about to go on.
Ella has a beer bottle thrown at her. I don't know if you
really?
remember that. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, Ella Ella's just playing and then saw the beer bottle and just dodged it real quick, acted like it didn't even phase her.
Dude, I remember like one time we played in Huntsville at, what was that track?
Oh, Sidetracks.
Sidetracks,
bro.
And Ella opened the show and she crushed it. And I remember somebody coming up to me and being like, "Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of her." I was like, "Well, you're a fucking idiot." And whoever that person is, you're still a fucking idiot because look at her now, But yeah, so Ella gets up there, plays her set, and then I guess I'm standing outside about to walk on stage, and then I guess you or Alex comes up and it's like, "Hey, the cops are here. Some underage drinking in the bathroom, or some girl passed out," and it was still COVID, and they were like, "They're shutting the show down." Whatever.
Jackie had a license to be a restaurant.
Yeah. And they were like shutting the show down. I was like, well, I'm going to at least get up there and play a 20-minute version of Dig Down in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I did, and they kicked everybody out, and I went around to the front of the building and did a meet and greet.
And I got launched by that big girl.
Oh.
I was taking the pictures. It was me, you, and Bonner out there. And I was taking the pictures and like trying to box out a little bit and get the photos. And I just got tossed, and it was raining.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. And then we went inside, and Devontae had his bottle of Jack, and it was like an emotional moment for him because we were like his family. He was out on the road with us.
He got drunk.
Yeah.
Real drunk, cried a little bit.
Yeah. Jackie gave everybody the moonshine.
Yeah.
McElwain critter crawled and still was the first one at the van.
He critter crawled?
Yeah.
Damn.
McElwain was the first one at the van. He went home. He went home, was like 30 minutes away and still made it back. That's what I always said about those guys. And I know I always was like the heathens, this, that, like craziness, but they were always good dogs that came home.
Yeah.
always.
I did a couple cruiser crawls in Anderson, South Carolina.
Yeah, we had our fun out there. We had our fun, and it's like looking back on that and now fast forwarding, and you're still out there doing shows. You've got a badass agent, Andrew.
Yeah.
Which he's like a little brother to us.
CAA,
which is so cool.
shout out, baby.
Yeah, they're solid, man. And then getting to put out a record, the title track of it being Troublemaker.
Yeah,
and
with River House, that was cool.
Yeah, dude, and getting to do those moments and getting to have Always You go to radio. Girl Problems climbing the secondary charts right now, and
which is crazy because I'm not even on the label anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's pushing it.
They're still pushing it.
Yeah, of course, dude. Of course, that's how it is, and that's how it should be. But now you're in this, like you said, you've scaled back kind of what the Road family looks like, and now to an extent you've scaled back what the team looks like, adding some folks too. But it's the calls used to have 15 to 20 people on.
Yeah.
Now they've got 6, and you're in every call. It's a different kind of thing. Just talk about this next chapter. Of
I wrote a song the other day. So me and Davis Corley, man, we still write together.
What a beast.
Once a month. And we just do 50-50, me and him, because I know what I want to say, and he knows how to help articulate what I want to say into a song. And we wrote a song the other day, which is funny. It's called Back to Birmingham. And one of the opening line is they're selling out on Main Street. My friends are going mainstream. And there's like it's like there's nothing wrong with that, but I just know that ain't me. Yeah. And the line says, if all I ever am is what I am right now, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't know, man. Being independent is I love it. You know, I thought about calling you today. That was my last release with River House, which is a song that will live forever.
Yeah,
you know, that song means the world to me. I wrote it with Jeremy Bussey and John Pierce like 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago.
I remember when you wrote it and you sent me the work tip, and I was like, damn, dude.
And and that was kind of my whole goal this year is that the songs that I put out this year are going to mean something to me. And, you know, I wasn't really ready to tell that story. Losing my dad was probably one of the toughest things that I've ever been through. And I feel like I'm kind of on the other side of that now. I feel like the pain of it is kind of subsided, and I've done a lot of grief work and stuff like that. So it's cool to have that song out, but I still write songs about my dad. I wrote one the other day with Matt Rogers called Things Daddy Used to Say, and it's definitely going to be on something at some point, you know. But you know, I mean, I'm just writing songs that I love and songs that mean something to me, and I put out another song called Here, which is a song that I wrote, you know, 3 years ago, and I've had it done forever, and I was like, well, hell, let's just drop this while we're figuring out, you know, what we're gonna do, and it's done well, and then I've had Scared to Death of Dallas on hold. Jordan Walker sent it to me like right after Dick Down in Dallas came out, like we had just met, and I'd had it forever, and we were out on the road, and we were in demo jail in the truck, you know, just listening to songs. And I played it for Mitch, and he was like, dude, this is what we need to do. We need to, you know, part 2 of Dick Down in Dallas. And it's been cool, man, to put something on the internet that, you know, a story that people, you know, have been invested in for a long time. And that's the thing about Dick Down in Dallas. It always brings people to me. So if you can have a part 2, then that's really cool. And, you know, it's going to come out at the end of the month on the 25th. So I'm pumped about that, and you know, we picked 5 songs that we're gonna go in and cut and put out by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really wanted to start doing is just putting out acoustic songs on like a Wednesday.
Yeah,
you know, just
it's like, what does it hurt?
Yeah, like I'm at the point now where I'm just like, you know, I feel like the old way was to like tease a song, just abuse it, and then get people to pre-save it and all that. And I'm just over that shit. And I feel like the fans are too.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just going to announce a song on a Monday and be like, hey, this song comes out Friday. Go check it out. If you want to pre-save it, cool. If you don't want to, that's fine too.
Listen to it
just
when
go
it's
listen
here.
to it when it's here. And, you know, I've written probably 400 or 500 songs in the last last few years, and I probably have about 180 that I would put out tomorrow. So,
it's a good place to be.
It's a good place to be. So I have a lot of music to put out, and I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do some features. I know me and Macy Nicole have been working on a song.
Yeah.
I have a song that I would like to do with Paxton P. Tourist Town. Remember that one?
Yeah.
I feel like it would be cool to do that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, just doing what I want to do, and I feel fortunate to have had the success that I've had. I feel like a lot of people move here, and there's a lot of people that would, you can get caught up in the comparison with other people, and of course I do that because I'd be a liar if I said that I didn't do that. But when I really look at it, like when we're sitting here talking, the playing the cover gigs and sleeping in the van, like it's very easy for me to forget those things, that I did those things, because of the lifestyle that I've been accustomed to for the last 3 or 4 years. But to know that I've come from basically nothing to, homeless at one point, and to be where I'm at right now is a position I feel like a lot of people would kill to be in. So I'm very lucky and I'm very fortunate. And I mean, also I've worked hard, but a lot of this shit is luck, and I think
it's luck or it's blessings.
Yeah, it's blessings.
It's
whatever.
Blessings. That's the way I look at it for you, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'm just gonna keep playing in the honky tonks that'll have me, and keep putting out music, and just keep writing songs. I've also been trying to write for other artists, so that's been that's been really cool.
That's been something that over the past year has been pretty sick.
Yeah,
with
so
Paw Tracy, as Matt Goyne likes to call him, with the real TL,
the real TL,
Tracy Lawrence, and then
man, that's a really cool story. I'll tell it if you want me to.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
So Ella did the last rodeo tour with Riley, and Tracy Lawrence was on that tour as well. But before the tour started, they did like a show downtown. It wasn't at the amphitheater. It was like by the hotel out in that park.
Yeah.
And I went because, I got to support my girl Ella.
Yeah.
And I'm in the like little backstage thing, and I saw Tracy's manager, which she went to college with Alex. And she was like, yeah, Tracy's cutting like 5 songs. If you have anything, send them to him. And I had this song that I wrote with Chris Utley and Thomas Lee Miller called Out Here in It. And I was like, man, I think because like originally they sent it to Blake, and Blake's producer loved it, but Blake passed on it. And I was like, well, I mean, if it was good enough for Scott Hendricks, then like,
it's good enough for somebody.
It's a fucking good song,
yes,
Yeah. And I love that song. And, it was my idea, and obviously Lee Thomas Miller, wrote Seen It in Color. I mean, the guy's fucking legend.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of badass songs, and so he kind of like helped. He brought a different light to the song of what I originally had in mind. But I just sat there and told my story, and he helped me articulate that into a song, and it just happened. But I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to send this to Tracy. I was like, hey, man, here's Lindsay told me you were, like, looking for songs or whatever, so here's this song. If you don't like it, it's cool. Like, I just thought I would send it. He asked me for a lyric sheet, and then I didn't hear anything back, and then I went to his turkey fry. He does a turkey fry every year here to raise money.
Yeah.
And around Thanksgiving, and I went up there, dropped the turkey, did the pictures, kissed the babies, whatever. And he's like, "Oh yeah, cut your song, by the way. I'll send you a rough mix, tonight." And I was driving home for Thanksgiving, and I just listened to that thing and cried my eyes out. And I mean, Tracy Lawrence, Time Marches On, Texas Tornado, shit I grew up listening to. If the World Had a Front Porch is one of my songs. My story was cool. It was his story too, and was cool enough for him to cut it. And he was only cutting 5 things, and I went from having nothing to having the title track on the EP that came out in June.
Yeah.
And I got to go to the Ryman and sing it with him. We got in the studio and did a version with me singing the second verse. I don't know if that's ever going to come out, but we did it, and I got to have that experience. And It's pretty cool, man. I got to play publisher, songwriter, all of it. You know,
Yeah.
I pitched it and everything. So,
which is sick.
which you just never know. Sometimes you got to send song. I've sent songs to other artists and not heard anything back, or like, hey man, I like this, but I already have a song about my truck, you know, or whatever. Yeah. So that was cool. And then the Cole Swindell thing happened. 3 feet tall,
dude.
I mean,
big song.
Huge song. Pretty cool experience there. Jordan Walker and Trey Anderson. We did a writer's retreat to finish. We were writing songs for the deluxe record that we were going to do originally. And wrote the song. I sent it to Rusty, my publisher up at Sony. And I said, hey, man, I know you're busy, but if you get time, listen to this song. It's the best song I've ever written. And I sent it to him, and he called me immediately. He was like, I'll be honest with you, the other 4 or 5 songs you wrote I haven't listened to yet, but this is the best song you've ever written. You should totally cut it. It's got to go on your record, not the deluxe. It's got to go right now. It's like, well, you got to call Lynn because, like, you know, this record's done. Like, and I didn't hear anything for like a few more weeks, and then he called me back, and he was like, man, this song's great. It's like your story. You should definitely tell it, but what do you think if we pitched it to Cole Swindell? And I was like, well, fuck yeah. That's kind of why I moved to Nashville, was to write songs. You know, I didn't move here to be an artist.
No.
I thought my artist career was over. I thought I was just going to play a cover band and try to figure out how to write songs, you know?
Yeah.
And so he invited us to the studio. We got to hear it once it was recorded. One of the coolest things about that song is that, so Saul played on Dick Down Dallas. He played guitar, bass, acoustics, and Grady played drums, and then Maxwell did all the, you know, production, the piano, the backup vocals, and all that stuff. We did it in like 2 days. But Saul also played on 3 Feet Tall.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah, so that was cool. That was a cool experience. Got to the studio, got to meet Cole, did the whole thing, and then the song came out. And it was played on XM radio. I got to, you know, I would listen to XM radio every day and just hear my song playing, man, and it's really cool. It's not a single to radio, but I think there's a world where I do a version of it myself and put it out. Yeah, it's my story to tell. Yeah, I think
it is, and like I was saying earlier about being in the situation that I'm in with my girlfriend Erin and her daughter Charlotte, and it's like I remember showing her that song and her just it hitting her very hard, having a little one, you know, that's in a situation like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Do you remember the show that we did, like with Waka Flocka or some shit down in?
That was with Afro Man, Jack Harlow. And then we did another one with Waka Flocka. That was Panama City Beach.
So the first one we did when we were driving down there, I drove the van.
Yeah.
And I listened to Clint Black the whole time I was driving down there. And I was thinking about my dad. And when we got to sound check, I was just over there in the corner playing my guitar because it was taking forever. I don't know what the deal was. Yeah. And I started this song, and I sent it to Davis, just a little voice memo, like 30 seconds of it. And then he was like, later that night, we were at that condo where Matt Gwen got locked on the balcony, and I locked him out on the balcony.
Yes, you did.
But anyways, we're sitting there, and like Davis sent me a text at like 3 a.m. with a song with the response. He was like, "Hey man, I got Manic, and I finished this song. Tell me what you think about it." And then we kind of went back and forth, and we finished it. And it's called 2 Hour Drive, and it's basically a song about my dad. And like when I was listening to that Clint Black music in the van driving down to that show, I realized that a lot of those songs were fucking sad and about heartbreak, and that my dad must have really been going through it. My dad took a job out of town when him and my mom got divorced, and it was like 2 hours away. It was in Alexander City on the way to Auburn.
Yeah.
And but he would pick me up every other weekend in his Ford Escort. It was a piece of shit, and like he'd stop halfway and get a car wash, you know, just to keep the car cool because it was like hot and stuff, you know. And but I wrote this song, and it's called 2 Hour Drive, and it's like, to me, it's like the preamble of 3 Feet Tall.
That's
you know?
sick.
Yeah,
I love that, dude.
And
awesome.
I don't know. Eventually, I think there's a world where that song comes out too. You know, I put a little video of it up on TikTok the other day.
Awesome.
But man, it's just cool how like, there's only really one artist that I've really listened to a lot. Like I'll check stuff out. Like I checked the Nate Smith record out that came out today. And it's really good.
Oh yeah, Nate's a fucking monster.
Dude, he's like butt rock of country music,
well,
but
yeah,
it's
I mean,
like great songs.
Look at his
great voice.
Yeah, look at his team, dude. He's with Chief. I mean, he's with the guy that helped build Nickelback and Hinder and FGL. Like, it makes sense.
But one artist that I listen to a lot and really respect is Steven Wilson Jr.
Oh, bro.
I mean, like, dude, when my Spotify Wrapped comes out, it's gonna be Steven Wilson Jr. like number one. I've listened to that record, all hour and a half of it, like top to bottom, probably I'd say 63 times.
Yeah,
like it's I've cried to that record.
And it makes sense.
I've
when
laughed
when
to
you're
that
telling
record.
this story about your dad and losing your dad and the grief of that and the situation. I mean, that's what Steven's record is.
But like, I really
makes sense.
I really respect that record, and like, you know, there's nothing wrong with telling the same story. It made me realize that there's nothing wrong with telling the same story in a different way.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all of it, and it's all intertwined, and it all goes together. So I feel like I've really grown as an artist and a creator, a writer, to just continue to keep telling my story through songs. And you know, I know there's people out there that wants to hear another song like Dick Down in Dallas.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I have them. Nobody fucks me like you fuck me, baby.
I like, I mean, I jam the one that's a little more in the center, the two middle fingers.
Yeah.
The one
I got
I'm
two
pushing.
middle fingers, and there's a place for all that. But, you know, I started playing music as an outlet. This is something that I did when I first got sober, and it's something that, you know, it's always been a healing process for me. So that's what music's always been, and those are the songs that I kind of tend to write. You know, that's why I didn't write a song like Dick Down in Dallas.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just cut it, and I'm down to cut other songs like that too, you know. And we have those in the tank as well, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there that have lived similar life to me, and those stories need to be told, whether, you know, 50 people listen to them or 1 million. But the thing is that as long as I'm breathing and as long as I'm going, I'm going to keep telling my story, and I'm going to keep dropping music. I own my own shit, so, you know, I can do whatever I want. And that's pretty cool.
It's a great place to be in, dude.
Yeah.
It's a great place, man. I appreciate you coming on and
dude,
doing
it was
this
good.
shit. It's been long overdue.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. Like, we've gone through from being buddies playing kickball to texting each other. Oh, you gonna bring the LaCroix? Are you gonna bring the Heineken Zero to the fire tonight? You know, hanging out on Nick Haynes' lawn, hanging out in your backyard, hanging out at Maxwell's, watching Dawson go crazy with NASCAR. You know, like all those days to being on the road, and you're a huge part of where I'm at today. And
I'm
I
appreciate you saying
grateful.
that, but I wholeheartedly agree that, you know, everything happens for a reason most times, and everything builds off the next. And I mean, I feel like, you know, we talked about lucky and blessings. We're blessed that our paths crossed each other's, and that we've, you know, got to have the kind of friendship that we've had, and you know, and to watch it just keep growing and watching where people are going to be. It's cool.
Absolutely, man. And I mean it seriously. Like, without you, I mean, without Boudreaux, going back Boudreaux to Gary and Chuck to you and Alex and even McElwain and Ben and Terry and Mitch and Devontae and everybody, Jason and fucking Nick Orman, everybody that I got to be on the road with and got to be in the trenches with, and I wouldn't be who I am today. And watching how you conduct yourself, being the life of the party and being the brightness for people's days while being sober is a huge thing that has helped me grow as a personality and as a figure in town, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And I'm so excited that I still get to be a part of the team. I love, you know, TL, ride or die forever, as long as you'll have me.
I hope that now that I'm off the road, that we can go to a concert, you know, together,
dude.
like
Nick
not me on the stage and you clapping out of tune, out of beat on by the merch table. Maybe like Jimmy Allen and Garth Brooks, We Didn't Do It tour 2025,
Jeez,
or something.
Boy, you just had to throw that in there. Oh boy. Nick and I.
The setup was good. Come on, dog. We're getting canceled.
Nikki T and I still go to a lot of shows that we don't have involvement in, and we just get to go and go to it.
I bought tickets to go see Gary Allen. I've never seen him in concert. He's one of my biggest influences. So we're going. Danae Hayes, you know her.
Yeah, when is that?
I wrote a song with Danae that I think she's gonna put out. So we've kind of become friends. She's from Alabama.
Where's the show?
So I'm gonna go see her on Thursday, and then Friday I'm gonna go see Gary Allen in Knoxville.
Okay.
And then the next day, Saturday, I'm going to the Tennessee Bama game in Knoxville.
Wow, you're about to have a day, a weekend.
Yeah, weekend.
That's this weekend.
It's not this weekend is Bama Vandy, and my brother's coming up.
Oh, you and Joel?
No, my brother Josh, and Frankie's coming up.
Oh boy, Josh and Frank.
Next weekend I'm going to Beanville. I'm going fishing. Shout out to Beanville Outdoors, and then the next weekend is Tennessee.
Who's
Bama.
our boy down in Beanville again?
Dean.
Dean's still down there.
Dean Jackson, yeah.
Dean and
his two wives.
Dean and the ladies, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Beanville.
Yeah.
Only time I've ever really caught bass was at a trophy place on your dime. Or not, that was free actually.
It was free.
That was free. That was when we were playing at that little club. But dude, and you said Scared to Death of Dallas out October 25th.
October 25th. We got some shows coming up. I don't know when this is coming out. When is this coming out?
Probably in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're doing a show with Macy Nicole in North Carolina, and then we're going back to Coyote Joe's.
One of my favorite places.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
Too.
I'm jealous.
Allen.
I might have to try. Oh, I'm in Auburn that weekend. Otherwise, I was going to say I'd hop in the van with you for the weekend to go out there because I love.
Remember when you and Nikki T came out with Danny? Rest in peace, Danny. White.
Dude. Yeah, God bless Danny White. And I feel bad. I didn't really put like a post up or anything like that. There was a lot going on when he had passed, but yeah, dude, the personalities. One of my, of course, I was shouting out like you and like our crew on the road, but the people that you meet along the way and that become part of the family, the Danny Whites, the Mild Gregs, the Austins, the Bobby Lees, but Danny was special because Danny was one of us and one of my
kind. He wasn't like a normal weird bus driver.
No, because he wasn't a fucking bus driver.
Yeah.
He drove school buses. He was a school bus driver that got hooked up with us through the folks at Favorite Fishing, and we got to give him. You talk about like live like you were dying.
Like he didn't want a hotel. He wanted to like sleep in the bus with us.
Like the song "Live Like You Were Dying."
Yeah,
Danny had been through some health stuff, and we gave him an incredible final chapter.
Remember we dressed him up like Santa.
I was showing that picture. I was hanging out with Brennan and Logan Crosby the other night, and I was showing him that picture because me and Brennan were talking about Danny, and Brennan's like, "Remember when we were in Texas and it was Christmas time and Danny was on stage?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, I got all the photos of it." We dressed Danny up. Danny, you at the merch table and making Danny feel involved and telling everybody, "Hey, this is my dad." Like Danny, because he was like our road granddad, and him listening to Booty Man and him. Just
look
being
at
the guy.
Booty.
Dude,
booty.
love. Yeah, dude. So shout out Danny White and Gone. We love him. Think about him all the time. But yeah, so Scared to Death of Dallas comes out October 25th.
October 25th. We might bump it up a week early. Who knows?
Okay.
If you go like and repost my video, I might drop it early. Who knows?
Yeah.
But man, thanks for having me on, dude. That fucking Zen made me feel like shit. Whatever the thing.
They're heavy.
Yeah,
they're 8s.
I have a huge headache now. Yeah,
they're 8s.
Terrible.
They're heavy. Yeah, so they're wild. I like them just because
y'all check out Zemo. It's good. It's really good. Good stuff. They
don't pay me nothing. The thing you need to check out, and it's coming from a podcast with two sober as fuck guys. Stateside, Surfside, like vodka iced tea. They make a lemonade as well. They power us through 2024.
We're not sober. We shotgun too before we. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm going to send you in with a 4-pack to give to Brooke.
Okay,
I'm sure she'll enjoy them.
Yeah,
you can bring them to the Tennessee, the Bama Tennessee tailgate next week. She'll enjoy those. They're non-carbonated, and I've heard that they are delicious and crushable. Trey and I just legally cannot drink them anymore. But also shout out to.
We can do it legally.
What? it's not it's not right for us to do.
Yeah.
That's why. That's always my
what you
thing.
meant.
That's what I say on stage. I'm like, I can't drink them, so you should drink double, drink for me. And if you want to find out more about us, visit raisedrawdy.com. Got a bunch of new merch out there. All of our events, and we're actually revamping the website as we speak. But be sure to check out our boy Trey Lewis, TreyLewisMusic.com. Trey Lewis Music on all the socials. Scared to Death of Dallas out October 25th, possibly sooner. If you want it sooner, repost, like, share, and call up your local radio station. Tell them to play Girl Problem by our boy Mr. Trey Lewis. Also check out Paw Paw's Bait and Tackle. We are ordering, I believe, more of the Critter Control hats, which have been fantastic.
Smash it.
We
dude.
get asked about those all the time.
Yeah.
So shout out to Paw Paws, and stay tuned. I know we're talking with Mitch and Alex about possibly doing a Paw Paws takeover of one of our nights in town.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Make it all the folks in the family. So.
I'll get up there and host with you, but then leave early.
Yeah. Classic. But y'all be sure
Get
to
cussed out by somebody's girlfriend.
Oh, jeez. Let's not even go there. But for my man TL, Trey Lewis, I'm Matt Burrill. This has been Outside the Round.